Hey everybody, good morning. Well, we're back in Palm Springs. I'm all the way on the other side of the country, and it's another beautiful Saturday. This guy's about to do some chainsawing, of course. So we're gonna start with our first celebrity home today, and it's right here where they're doing the yard work. So I'm gonna rush this one and we'll get to our next one. Let's go over to this house.
Unforgettable.
So we are on 1258 North Rose Avenue, and this is the home of Nat King Cole. Nat King Cole, I believe he was a baritone. He did not pass away here, however, and once he did pass away, his daughter Natalie Cole lived in this house as well. What's this? Oh geez. Original. So this is the house of Nat King Cole. And a cool story about Nat King Cole and Frank Sinatra. When Frank Sinatra was playing at the Sands, well, Nat King Cole, for being a pianist, I apologize, and a colored singer, was being paid $4,500 a week, which is pretty crazy for if you think about the times back in the 50s. And Sinatra, when he was working at the Sands, saw that Nat was actually eating in a separate area, as they would in the days, you know, they would be segregated. And he asked his valet, George, who was also colored, why Nat was sitting over there and what was going on with that. So he said the Sands would not allow him, this is a really cool house too, the Sands would not allow him only to perform but not eat with the rest of the people. So Sinatra, being Sinatra, said, if he's not eating with me tomorrow night, everyone in the kitchen will be fired. Next night, Sinatra and him had dinner. And that's just the type of guy Sinatra was. It's crazy when you think about it. I have a couple other videos coming up, but everything ties to Sinatra. It always does. What a guy, man. Did so much for so many people. And it kills me when people say Sinatra was this or Sinatra was that. The guy joked around, sure, and you know, he did have an attitude, but he was a good guy all in all. But with that being said, our first house is down. We're gonna get out of here. I'm gonna shed some of these clothes. This guy's gonna break out the chainsaw. On to our next one.
Why, darling, it's incredible.
Now, since I was in the neighborhood and literally, I hate that term, was in the neighborhood, I thought I'd stop by Dean Martin's house before I go to the next house and see what's going on. It looks like Palm Springs had a windstorm, so that's gonna benefit us. Look at that, it blows that down. They really clean this up and they're gonna take this down to the bones. I'll stand up here so we can see or peek my little camera in here. And when I was here back in the day and it was just left abandoned, this was Jeannie's house, Jeannie Martin. She stayed here after they got divorced. It still had the original wallpaper on the walls. Inside the kitchen, which is right there, it had the two ovens, which was crazy. And it has about 11-foot swimming pool in the back. It's very deep, it's very cool. But yeah, Dean Martin's house is getting redone. Such a nice guy too. But that brings us to another house that I haven't been to out here. And I always say the wrong name, but no, we're not gonna go see Jerry Lee Lewis. We're gonna go see Jerry Lewis. The comedy pairing of Martin and Lewis. It seems, dude, I love this. And look at the wood still left on the carport. They're keeping the bones. The bones are all right. A buck a bone. Let's go over. We've made our way across town about 2 miles from Dean's house. So we're actually on the other side of Dean's, or Palm Springs, a little bit closer to the mountains as we make our way up 111. So we are outside Jerry Lewis's house, 1349 Sagebrush. I'm not telling any tales. But this is the house where, it's funny to think where the juxtaposition where Dean was and Jerry Lee after, or Jerry Lee, why do I keep doing that? Jerry Lewis after the fallout. Got a little bench out here. This house was built in 1957, and this is, in fact, the house where Jerry Lewis wrote The Nutty Professor. I think that's pretty cool. And it looks like some folks from Tennessee now in the house, or that's the car license plate out front. But Jerry Lewis, pretty modest home. Beautiful home, beautiful street. Very quiet, serene. See if we can walk over here and take a look. And I'll catch up with you on the side. But I want to put in this clip of Jerry talking about Dean.
The relationship with Dean ends in 1956. The partnership ends in 1956.
10 years to the day.
To the day. To the day. You were still incredibly popular on stage together. Could have continued on. But you guys don't see each other again for 20 years.
20 years.
Until the MDA telethon in 1976.
Right.
How'd that happen?
That was Frank. Frank took care of that.
Sinatra.
Yeah. He thought it was about time we stopped this nonsense. I introduced Frank, brought him on. Sweet. He read a beautiful letter from one of his grandchildren. I loved that. And then I said something to Frank about, why is it that whenever we're together, I have a feeling you're doing something I don't know about? And right on the tail of that statement, he said, let me interrupt you, and let me just bring out a friend of mine I brought over. We send my friend out here, and out walks Dean. And I just looked up to heaven and said, dear God, give me something to say. And I looked at him, I said, you working? So it was a good start.
Lots of high hedges in Palm Springs. And it was sad to hear that, you know, Jerry and Dean did not talk for 20 years until, once again, Sinatra, the name comes out, bringing people together. I, myself, am a Dean Martin guy. I love Sinatra. Actually, I don't know if that's true. Sinatra's cool, but it seems like if you upset Sinatra, he's gonna let you know. Dean seems like have a smoke, have a drink, really kickback guy. Very cool. But Frank, chairman of the board's got to be a little more serious most of the time. I think this is a pretty interesting thing too. This bench with the rock in the side of it. It's warming up. Time for the shirt to come off. Are we all so lucky? One more thing from Jerry Lewis's house. Yes, I got it right that time. We're right down the street from the Caliente Tropic where the Rat Pack used to hang out and tons of other celebrities. But I want to point out the American shirt, Dodger hat. Today is game 1 of the NLDS. And yes, this is an Ohtani shirt. Ohtani is pitching today. My buddy Danny Punk's Life has a great channel on YouTube too. Check him out. Big Ohtani fan. He loves Ohtani. He's so happy that he left the Angels and finally went to a real team like the Los Angeles Dodgers. Also, another fun fact, one of Frank Sinatra's favorite teams, the Los Angeles Dodgers, because of Tommy Lasorda and because they moved from New York. But Tommy Lasorda and him were great friends, both Italian Americans. But we have more houses to hit, and we're heading, well, it's going to be following this long and windy driveway. We entered the neighborhood of the Mesa, and right up here, if you've ever heard songs like Copacabana, It Never Rains in Southern California, Can't Smile Without You, Mandy, and so many, many more. This is the home of, well, Barry Manilow, and we're on the side of it, actually, this white wall, and we'll go around. I'll show an aerial view. But what Barry Manilow has done is he's kind of checkerboarded this whole little area and put together a nice little puzzle of a compound. And yes, of course, it is private property. No trespassing unless Barry himself wants it. Really nice house up here in the cove of the Mesa. And one of the neighbors up here is, well, was Suzanne Summers. This is where her house was. And if you've never seen that, I suggest Google it because it is cool, and it goes all the way up into the mountains. But we're gonna go around and I'll get a better look for, well, for us all. So thanks to Google Earth, we can see behind the gates, and if you put in Barry Manilow's address, you can see his house and how it sits. And you can see that the pool and everything, well, in the desert, you want it pretty much going to the east because the sun rises in the east, so it gets quite hot. And then the west, you have the other part of the house that'll kind of cool off during the afternoon. But this is his compound right here on top of the hill there, and then he owns all the property around that, and he's kind of added on to the other streets. But get Google to behave, and it'll give us just kind of a rotation. You can go to Google Earth and play around, and you can see that one of his neighbors from here is actually the old Suzanne Summers estate before she passed. That has now been sold, but yeah, Barry Manilow's home. So up on that hill is the main compound of that house, and that's the Google 360 view. But it goes all the way across. So we're gonna go actually down this street, like I was saying, follow the white wall of his property, because he does have multiple lots and multiple streets that he lives on. But we're gonna go over to the other side and maybe, well, run into Barry. So I finally got on the right road. If you go down another road and you just make a quick right, that's where you'll pull up to the main entrance of Barry's house. Thought I heard a car come, but it's some like real weird sounding bird. What do you got going on in there, Barry? But if you remember, or if you've seen my Las Vegas video, my last one when I was in Vegas, I went by the Hilton, where Elvis used to play, and it was actually Barry's, I believe, his 82nd birthday, and we signed his card and did all that. I gotta say, I wouldn't mind seeing Barry in concert. He seems like a really great entertainer and a super nice guy from everything I've read online. But wait till you see this. So like I was saying, he's bought these houses and they're kind of divided up. So the one right over here behind me, that's part of the guest house, and these are all on his compound. Very cool. So his houses look like they're ranch style homes, and just from what I was reading and like I was saying on Google Earth, you can kind of see that he's just got the properties all connected now, and like this house is just gorgeous. And we're on a cul-de-sac, as you can see too, so it goes right up to his house. And the main house, and sorry if I'm bothering you, Barry, I don't know if you're home or if you're in Las Vegas currently. I don't know if we could see around the corner, not from this angle, but I'll try the other angle. So when I look at these homes, you know, you just want to obviously give them their privacy. This is their place that they come to relax, just like anybody else does at their homes. And I just think it's really cool to see this. And from the street, you know, it's kind of secluded, as you can see. I don't want to walk up too close, but yeah, very, very nice place for Barry. I know some people were saying the last time they were here, like a car entered or exited, and they're like, I don't think Barry was in there, but Barry came out right now. Plenty of cameras and everything else throughout here. All right, Barry. See you in Vegas. There's that brutal Palm Springs sun. Actually, it's not too bad today. It's only in the high 70s, but up over this is the main Bob Hope house that everyone sees, the iconic, not the one he really lived in, the one he entertained at, the one that's the 007 one, but right here on 2195 Rim Road that comes out where everybody goes hiking. You can see out in the distance out there is the airport. This is, well, we've been to this gentleman's house before, Howard Hughes' house. Another fun story about this, and I read it on the internet, so you know it's 100% true, is, well, he was known for the Aviator movie, and he was supposedly staying here, but also Ava Gardner supposedly stayed here too. And you know anything about, once again, Frank Sinatra, Ava Gardner's girlfriend, the one that he lived at Twin Palms, just right over in Palm Springs, another house that we've been to tons of times, was here with him. Such a nice little neighborhood. It's really grown up and all the way through, but yeah, he had a pretty cool spot, especially back in the day. Can't see much though, but I do like the seafoam green colors and the whites. Here comes some folks on the one-way highway, so I better move my car. I
car.
want to point out, this house sold for, I believe it was 1.3 million in 2018. Now worth right around 2.3 to 2.7 million. Quite the increase. Got some hair on my nose. Well, that's going to do it from Palm Springs this time. I was just coming out here to run some errands. I figured I'd throw some homes together that I haven't seen. Well, that I've seen that I haven't shown you. There are more that I do want to show, and I will. I'll come back out. There's a few. There's Steve McQueen. There's Steve McQueen. There's Steve McQueen. Well, there's other people too, but got to see Barry from the outside as best as we could. Up behind me is the other Bob Hope house. And I was going to end my video here because there used to be a real funny sign on this that said, because we're on the other side of the Bob Hope house on the hill, the 007, that said, "This is not the way to Bob Hope house. Bob Hope is dead," something along those lines. But they took the sign down, which kind of bumps me out. So if there's some houses out here I need to see, some houses that you'd like me to go by, let me know in the comments. Like this video if you like this video. As always, please consider subscribing. I do appreciate it. It does help very much. It's free. Why not? It's free. Free for me, free for you. But it helps me a lot more. So thank you. And don't forget to enter the code. I don't know what the code is. I'm not going to try. Maybe it's 007. But yeah, okay, so they got these mobile homes and way up there. So the reason they don't want you entering this way is because people want to hike up to Bob's house. There is a trail that does go by the Howard Hughes house over here where you can park your car and go up. It's treacherous, I tell you. On the wrong day, you always hear about people, you know, not having enough water or just can't make it back down. But a lot of people have done it, and I think we'll be doing it one of these days. Still waiting for it to get a little bit cooler. So that being said, I will see you tomorrow. Not from Palm Springs, but I'll see you tomorrow.